On paper, the Galaxy S20 Plus has all the markings of a well-rounded flagship, but how does it fare in real life? That's a question I'll be answering in this review. What's going on, guys? Dre here and welcome back to the channel. Now, I know I've been gone for a minute, but hey, I'm back, and a big thank you to all my new subscribers to the channel. I see you. If you happen to be new here, my name is Dre Anthony and I mostly do tech related reviews and tech related content here on YouTube. So if this is something that you're into, then please consider hitting that subscribe button. Now, in today's video, I'm here to give you my real life review on the Galaxy S20 Plus after using it as my daily driver now for a couple of months. Okay, so let's start by looking at the design. The Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus doesn't look much different to its predecessor, but this is the sleekest device in a long line of flagships, and that isn't a bad look. As expected, the Galaxy S20 Plus has that very premium feel. It has Gorilla Glass 8 on the front, Gorilla Glass 5 on the back with an aluminum frame. And despite the 6.7-inch screen, the Galaxy S20 Plus doesn't feel very difficult to carry in the hand, as the bezels around the display have been shaved off a bit. The S20 Plus is just the right size among the three Galaxy S20 models, and the perfect fit for those who want both a big screen and a phone that they can use with one hand fairly easily in most instances. As phone manufacturers try to find the best design or enclosure for more and more lenses, this rectangular block on the back of the S20 Plus isn't the worst we've seen. It's more refined and a bit less obtrusive. The single center aligned punch hole for the front-facing camera, on the other hand, definitely looks cleaner and obstructs less of the display than the double punch hole cutout housing two lenses on the S10 Plus. If you decide to pick up the mirror black version like the one in this review, then I highly recommend picking up a case or slap a skin on this device, as this is a fingerprint magnet. One letdown is that with the S20 series, Samsung unfortunately decided to get rid of the 3.5mm headphone jack, which wasn't much of a surprise, but then those dual top and bottom speakers are really good. Dolby Atmos works over these speakers and they sound great and gets really loud and didn't distort even at the highest volume. The display is where the Galaxy S20 Plus brings a major new feature and where I was most impressed with the device. The Galaxy S20 Plus's 6.7-inch display, which is AMOLED, is sharp and vibrant with WQHD resolution and is a shade taller than the S10 Plus's QHD screen, which is likely due to it having less bezel at the top and bottom. But you likely won't notice a difference given how similar they are, at least until you get to my favorite part, the refresh rate. Yes, this year's S20 Plus phones join several other 2019 and 2020 models in adding the option to refresh the screen more frequently. Most phones operate at 60 Hz, meaning the screen refreshes 60 times per second. But on the S20 Plus and its siblings, you can opt to up this up to 120 Hz. So what does this mean in day-to-day use? Well, technically, it should enable smoother action in games that support 120 Hz, but you'll most appreciate 120 Hz in the silky smooth animations flowing through Android interface. Yes, most of the fun is to be had flipping through and between apps and menus, although you'll get the same effect when gliding through Instagram or Twitter. However, all is not perfect, as you can't max the refresh rate while having the highest display resolution at the same time. So I opted for the 120 Hz and settled for 1080p. I personally don't like that limitation, and I do understand that Samsung might have had some battery concern in mind, but I still hope at some point they will enable the use of both with a future software update. Seriously though, once you go 120 Hz, you can't go back to 60 Hz screens. Take it from me, the hype is real. So, okay, the refresh rate is great, it's awesome, but what about the display quality in general? Well, this is a Samsung flagship, so the display is phenomenal. It has high brightness levels, vivid colors with the option to switch to more natural tones if you'd like, and very wide viewing angles. There's HDR support, and HDR content that you can find on YouTube and Netflix looks great. The display's edges are also less curved this time around. Thank God, and it feels like a flat display in practice. That's bound to make those happy like myself, who have not been a fan of Samsung's insistence to offer only curved displays on its flagships the last couple of years. Okay, so let's move on and talk a bit on the performance and software experience. Samsung's S series phones have always boasted top tier specs, and the S20 Plus is no exception. It's a Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 chipset with 12GB of RAM as its baseline, so gaming, media binging, and multitasking through multiple apps, as you might guess, is like a breeze. Seriously, in real world use, the S20 Plus can handle pretty much any app or game media you throw at it, making it a true powerhouse in my pocket. The phone handled everything without a problem. Even when pumped up to 1440p resolution or 120Hz refresh rate, the phone didn't heat up under pressure. With that said, the Galaxy S20 Plus offers excellent battery life, whether you use the display at 60Hz refresh rate or 120Hz, but I must admit, you do lose a couple hours when using the 120Hz, but this phone still managed to get me through the entire workday with around 20 to 25% battery life left. And thanks to that 25-watt super fast charging support, you won't need to charge the phone overnight. The S20 Plus's 4500 mAh battery charges from 0 to 100% in just over 70 minutes. So a 30-minute charge will get you up to around 50%. I did a dedicated charging speed test with the S20 Plus against last year's S10 Plus and the OnePlus 5T in my last video to make things a bit more interesting. So if you guys want to go and check that out, I'll have that linked in the description box. Also, if you like this video so far, please go ahead and hit that like button to show your support. Also, a sub will be a massive help towards building this channel. Where securing this device is concerned, you will have the ability to use different methods to lock and unlock your device. The ultrasonic in-display fingerprint sensor is one such option you can use to unlock your device, and for me has been a hit or a miss on a few occasions. Don't get me wrong, the ultrasonic reader is good enough and many of you will probably have no complaints, but it's not very fast. You have to hold the finger a bit too long on the recognition area sometimes for it to work, so it's the not so consistent performance of the fingerprint sensor that's a bit annoying to me. I'm big on a good software experience, as this for me can make or break my overall smartphone experience, whether or not there are great specs, and I must say, Samsung didn't disappoint on this one. The S20 series packs Android 10 straight out the box, so expect all the great features the latest version of Android has to offer. But as a Samsung phone, it has the expected branded apps and interface overlay packaged in its latest version of One UI. Samsung's One UI though is pretty attractive but not over the top, and is quite colorful too, with consistently shaped icons across the operating system. The always on screen is informative and can be customized a little, and I really like the system-wide dark mode setting. Let's just put it this way. With One UI, you can customize a lot of things to your preference, which I'm sure you'll like as an Android user. So Samsung has really come a far way with its One UI software. It's more user-friendly and less busy to say the least, but the UI tweaks can only go so far, and I think a lot of people are going to be overwhelmed with how much stuff actually comes on this phone. The camera is the most important aspect of a smartphone for many people. So let's talk about the S20 Plus's setup. Now, this is the middle child of this year's S20 line. So on paper, it should be more capable than the Galaxy S20, but less than the Ultra. However, I'd actually say this is the most capable camera setup from the S line and the one people should actually pay attention to. Shooting outdoors with plenty of daylight will give you fantastic images. Colors are saturated and there's plenty of detail in each shot. Samsung has also improved the night mode on the Galaxy S20 Plus. It retains a lot of detail and captures a good amount of lighting. Samsung did pack in a lot of its regular slew of features. For example, live focus panorama, along with a new one called single take, which will capture a selection of standard photos, live focus, stills video, and will automatically select the best images and clips and put them in a mini album, all with AI. Pretty neat. On the flip side, the S20 Plus's front-facing 10 megapixel selfie camera is pretty similar in terms of quality to the S10 Plus. Not much to speak of here. There's good enough detail when taking selfies outdoors, at least when you turn off the beautification settings, and skin tones are faithfully reproduced. Indoors with good lighting, the story remains the same, though some noise tends to creep in. Now, for my final verdict, the Galaxy S20 Plus isn't the top end offering in the Galaxy S20 lineup, but it's an excellent phone regardless, and probably the one that most folks will end up buying. I certainly enjoyed using it as my everyday phone. The 120Hz display is amazing and has to be experienced to be appreciated. The main camera takes great pictures in all lighting conditions and comes with some neat features. Performance is excellent, battery life is solid with crazy fast charging speeds to match, IP68 water resistant, stereo speakers, and microSD support. Now the few negatives that I can actually think of is the not so awesome fingerprint sensor, the absence of a headphone jack, and its not so inspiring or groundbreaking design. But the Galaxy S20 Plus's strengths overshadows its weaknesses, and it's an amazing phone that you can't go wrong with. Even after its release earlier this year, it competes with most other flagships currently on the market. You can find this phone online for around $1,000 or less, and is even definitely, in my opinion, worth getting over the newly released Note 20, which is in the same price bracket. Now that's it for this review, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't as yet. Also, it would be a major help to the channel if you leave a like on this video. That will be extremely appreciated. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.